What do you think of this global environmental movement now that the U.S. and we just had the G8 summit? What do you think about it? Is it too late? Is it too soon?
Better not be too late.
Is it going to make a difference, or is it just a fad? What do you think?
Oh no, I don't think it's a fad. I think people are waking up to reality. If the G8 doesn't want to move fast enough, we'll make them move faster.
There you go. Okay. And what about Toronto? What do you think about Toronto's position in the movement? Do you think that we're behind the curve? Or if we are, do we have any chance to catch up and to make a difference? Or how do you feel about the movement in Toronto?
Oh, I think from my experience, most people I know in Toronto are aware of the environment and of the problems that we face. Where they need some help maybe is in learning about the things that they can do themselves.
Exactly.
Without relying on a program to be handed to them.
Think of something recently, in the last few months or 6 months, that you've adopted, change of attitude or habit to make a difference or to be more environmentally conscious.
Well, I kind of was raised to use less energy to begin with. I mean, my parents lived in the Depression, so we were always taught to turn out lights when you leave the room and not let the water run. So
exactly.
So it came naturally to me. Some other people that might have to learn that.
It's true.
Insulating the house, keeping the doors closed, and not leaving them wide open.
Exactly. Perfect. That's good. What do you feel about the global environmental movement? Is it a movement or is it a fad?
Well, it's so wonderful to see that people are starting to have some kind of awareness of what needs to happen and some kind of appreciation for the road that we are on now, which is if we don't make any changes, then we're really destroying the earth. We're fouling our nests, creating a very dangerous situation for our children. Something has to be done, so it's really nice to see that there's more awareness.
Now, what do you think about Toronto's contribution to things? Are we behind the curve, or are we on the curve, or do we have any hope for us in the future in terms of being more efficient?
Well, I think we have a long way to go. I think that, as I said, there's some awareness, and we just need to figure out how to put things into action. We need to realize that we've been sold a bill of goods in terms of buy, consume. We've just got to stop doing that and use what we have and live our lives and enjoy every moment.
Okay. Now, what is one of your $25 solutions which makes a difference around the home and the way you live your life? Like a simple, effective solution, like walking with a cloth bag, for example, instead of getting plastic bags from the store.
The J's and the Browns.
Well, I've used cloth bags for many years, trying to cut down on the amount of plastic, made out of petroleum and non-renewable resource. And we're Canadians. We live in a cold climate. We need the fuel to heat our homes. We don't need it to package our consumer goods.
Good.
I dry clothing on a clothesline. I don't need a clothes dryer.
Exactly. Even in the winter? What do you do for the winter?
I've got a clothesline with basement.
Perfect. Just like you used to do in the olden days, instead of using a dryer. What do you think of this global environmental movement? Is it a fad or is it here to stay?
I think that it's not a fad. I think that the hype is a bit questionable. I'm not so sure that it's kind of that people are on the bandwagon. They're concerned about the environment. They're concerned about their families. They're concerned about what they eat. I think that the changes are going to continue, and I think that as the changes continue and become more challenging, I think that people are going to be more concerned to make a difference. And so I think that it is, we're riding the crest of a wave right now, but I do believe that we will see significant changes in the way that we live.
Excellent.
And I think that we're just seeing the beginnings of that. So it's going to become more mainstream as those changes become more mainstream. The fact that this is made from cornstarch, and people are sort of saying, wow, like why aren't we doing more of that, or why isn't this available?
And you can toss this in your compost.
Yeah, I think eventually it's just going to become so prevalent that people just say, no, we demand it. It has to be, and
Now,
So-
tell me a little bit more about your organization and what changes you're trying to affect in Toronto, or you have affected.
I mean, our organization, Green Neighbours 21, is pretty new.
Right.
It's actually just been created in the past year, so we're
Right.
not even a year old.
Right.
And I think initially what we did was sort of get together and we talked about, okay, so how can we be a positive influence on the environment,
Right.
on these issues? What kinds of ideas do we want to kind of run with? So we brainstormed. We decided to be involved in, community events. We decided to be involved in sort of, projects with retailers within the community. I mean, I don't know that I'm the best person to speak to what the vision is for that organization. What I can say is that you'll see more of these kinds of events, more of our presence, in events like this. There's the Environment Day that every ward runs. We were there. I think that we're having an impact on things like safe bucking. People want to be able to bicycle in the city, so we've got a group of people on the committee that have sort of taken a position on that. They said, all right, so it's not just about providing the facilities, but hey, how do we make this happen so that it's actually useful for the people that want to ride their bikes in the city. It's not just a question of, all right, we got the lanes, let it go. Are the lanes in the right place? Do people have access to them?
People know about them?
Do people know about it? all those sorts of issues. So
Excellent.
I think we're involved in a lot of kind of grassroots things. And sorry, you're gonna ask me something?
No, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Work from the bottom up.
Right.
Because the guys at the top don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
They don't have a clue.
And I think it's about engaging the community. I think more than anything else, it's the real kind of groundswell of support for Green Neighbours 21 was that people felt, hey, wait a second, like no one's going to do this for us. No one's going to make these changes happen. If we want to get engaged, we want to be involved, then we got to take it on. And so let's bring people together that are sort of like-minded and have passion for these things, and let's find out what people want, what's important to them, and let's make a difference. You may have heard of this organization called WISE. I think it's the
West Toronto Initiative for Solar Energy.
Yeah, for solar energy. So our group is sort of on board with that, and we've been helping to spread the word. That now that this is kind of rolled out. We've got the RFPs have been reviewed. I think that there have been 2 providers chosen, and before you know it, you're going to start to see solar panels in this community.
Excellent.
Which is pretty cool.
Excellent.
So we had the guy that was involved in sort of spearheading WISE through its development, come out to one of our meetings, and he spoke and basically spread the word and said, now it's up to you guys, spread the word within your communities, within your networks. So that's what's been going on.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
What do you feel about the environmental movement, the global environmental movement?
Well, I'd like to think that in terms of a worldwide approach, people are getting more aware of the situations and they're getting involved in things. Certainly, what we're doing as a community in our neighborhood is that we're talking about these issues and trying to come up with solutions and incorporate what's going on in our neighborhood into the way we think and pass that message on to our neighbors in our community. Get more people on board. So it's an ongoing process, but it is absolutely at grassroots. And we're not going to wait for politicians or business to get involved. We're going to make that change, and we're going to foist it on the environment.
Perfect. Now, what is a solution or decision or act that you've incorporated into your lifestyle in the last 6 months or so to become more environmentally aware, even if you haven't in the past, but maybe you've taken it a step higher or something?
Well, that would be tough to think about in the last 6 months. In fact, we're just talking about it today, and I've been reducing, reusing, recycling since I can remember, and that's long before Blue Box programs, and making sure that you don't have excessive packaging. And I wear a backpack all the time. I don't need the bag. I can put it into my backpack and go. So anything in the last 6 months, we've just gotten more and more, and now with landfill situations becoming more difficult to secure, divert as much as you can out of your trash pile and put it into recycling and get that process.
What do you think about the world environmental movement? Is it a fad or is it here to stay?
Oh, it must be here to stay, I think.
Definitely?
Yeah, I think so.
Even though George Bush has jumped on the bandwagon?
No, it has nothing to do with anything to do with political anything. It's people will always do it. It'll be here. It doesn't matter. Nothing has happened.
It has changed.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, in your personal life, you're trying to do things more environmentally friendly. What have you incorporated recently in the last 6 months or something, or a year that's effective and inexpensive?
I don't know if I'd be able to say that I have incorporated anything specifically to be environmentally.
You mean you haven't?
I haven't.
What
no.
are you doing then?
I mean,
You're using a plastic cup.
I'm using a plastic cup.
Okay.
I mean, I hear there's some pretty cool cups that I've actually bought when I have barbecues at home that you can actually throw them out, or you don't have to throw them out, but they actually biodegrade. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
fantastic.
Right? So I did actually look for that. So I do that when I'm having people in the backyard. I'll actually buy that for sure. Yeah.
That's good enough then. Thank you.